Hello, this is Tomlin from TomlinHarmonicaschool.com, and today I'm going to give you 7 tips for how you can improve your tone and take it from something that might sound a little bit like this to something that sounds a little bit more like this. Before we get started, I need a slurp of tea, and then I will give you my first tip. Okay, tip number 1, and this is the most important one. It's really, really boring, but it is absolutely essential. Relax, okay? Start with your mouth. Make sure that your lips are nice and relaxed and fat and juicy when you put them on the harmonica. Then make sure your jaw is relaxed. Then make sure that your tongue is sitting relaxed in your mouth. Then think about your throat being relaxed. I saw a Joe Falisco seminar once where he was talking about being a slack-jawed zombie, which I thought was the best image. So imagine that you're a zombie and do your best. Slack jaw, make sure that your throat is nice and open. Then let's move outside. Let's keep the neck nice and relaxed. Then you're going to keep your shoulders relaxed. And it's quite a good idea to imagine, to actually practice in front of a mirror, because you can start to see the outside of your body getting tense. If you see your shoulders start creeping up, you see your hands start to creep up in this kind of clenching thing. You don't want that. You want to just drop the shoulders, let the arms hang loosely. If I grab a harmonica, my arms are hanging down from the harmonica. I'm not super tense. I'm not doing this. I'm not hunched. Don't do the harmonica hunch. Just nice and loose and relaxed. And just let the air come through to you. Don't suck. Don't. Just relax. Breathe naturally. Okay, tip number 2. You need to make sure that you get the harmonica nice and deep in your mouth. It doesn't matter whether you are a lip purser or a tongue blocker, it is essential that you get it right up in there. So if you got your mouth pushing out towards the harmonica and you're getting this kind of sound, and you can hear the air, then what you need to do is push it in deeper and make sure that you're putting, if you're a lip purser, the wet part of your mouth onto the harmonica. And you see the harmonica is ever so slightly tilted up. And what you might find, when you push the harmonica in deeper, it makes you lose your single notes. So you might get this kind of thing. All you need to do is push with your mouth nice and tightly, but keep pushing with the harmonica until you get that single note. So I'm really making sure that it's the inside of my lips that are on the harmonica. And if you're a tongue blocker, same kind of deal. Make sure you've got it nice and deep. And that's how you're going to get a nice full tone when you're playing, and it'll get rid of all that airiness that you might have. Okay, before we get to the next tip, I've got a massive favor to ask of you. If you could give me a thumbs up by hitting the like button below, that would be fantastic. It's brilliant for the YouTube algorithm, which I'm sure you've heard all about, which means that my videos will get shown to more people and I can help more people learn how to play harmonica. And if you're really enjoying this and you haven't subscribed, hit that little subscribe button and hit the little bell icon next to it so you get notified when I upload a new video. All right, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it, and let's get on to the next tip. Okay, tip number 3. Play half as hard as you are currently. Now, when people first start playing harmonica, they listen to all of these awesome players and they think, wow, they're so loud and they're putting so much power into their instruments and it sounds so massive. And they think that the way to achieve that sound is by playing really, really hard and sucking lots of air through the instrument. And when they do that, they get something that sounds like this. Not very pleasant. In reality, great harmonica players are not playing super hard. they are playing a lot more gently with a much more controlled airflow. They're playing half as hard, so the notes sound warm and round. So don't try and get the volume by playing really, really hard. Play nice and gently. Remember, this all ties into that relaxation we were talking about before. Play gently, play at least half as hard as you think you need to. Tip number 4. Well, I'm doing it. I want you to do it as well. If you can, I want you to stand up when you play harmonica. And the reason for this is that you're not compressing your lungs, which means that you're not limiting your airflow. Now, obviously, I know that some people can't stand up, and that's not going to stop you from being a great harmonica player. This is just something that will make it a little bit easier if you are able to. So stand up. Keep your knees slightly bent, that's important. If your knees are locked out, then that affects your breathing. Knees slightly bent, stand up, make sure you're standing up nice and tall, everything's aligned, comes back to relaxing, let everything sort of flow down from your head and feel grounded on the floor. Standing up's great because you can move your whole body so you can feel that rhythm, and it helps you to relax, and it gives you better airflow. It gives you more airflow because you're not kind of crunched down like this. And remember, check yourself in the mirror, make sure that you're not hunching over. Tip number 5. Breathe from your diaphragm. So generally, most people, unless they've thought about it, breathe from the top of their lungs using their chest. So they breathe up here, and that vastly limits how much air you can actually take in or push out. What you want to be doing is using your diaphragm, which is the muscle across the front of your belly. And what that does is it allows you to fill up your lungs all the way from the bottom and push all the air out from the bottom, as if you were pushing the toothpaste out of a toothpaste tube. So what you want to do is you want to pull your belly in. When you breathe out, really, really empty everything, and then release those belly muscles, and that'll naturally pull the air in to your lungs all the way to the bottom. And the best way to practice this is just playing 1, 2, 3 holes on the harmonica. So breathe out. And practice your diaphragmatic breathing every day when you're doing something else. You can do it when you're driving, you can do it when you're walking around. It doesn't have to be when you're practicing harmonica, but eventually it will become your new way of breathing, and it's good for everything in your life. It's not just good for harmonica. So get that diaphragm working. You'll have a much stronger column of air without any of that kind of wavery sound that I hear a lot of people playing with, the kind of rather than a big, strong. We want those big, strong notes. Okay, tip number 6. Don't forget to use your hands. If you do everything we've spoken about so far, but you're not using your hands correctly, you're only halfway there. So if I play properly and well, but I'm not thinking about using my hands, I'm going to get this kind of sound. But if I create a nice resonant chamber and I direct the sound, so think about, left hand is going to create this cup, this sort of resonant chamber around the harmonica, and then your right hand is going to come up round underneath it and close that cup. And that's your closed cup. You can also have it slightly open, and what you're doing is you're directing the sound forward. And another little tip that I'll give you, a bonus tip to make sure that everything is projecting forward, when I want to get that bigger hand wah, I push the harmonica against my cheek, so against my right cheek. And that blocks the front of the harmonica. It stops air coming out at the front of the harmonica. So direct the sound with your hands. Think of creating a resonant chamber with your hands. Think about the harmonica, it's really small. It doesn't really have its own resonant chamber. It's all about you, your air source, and the cavity that you're creating around it. And that will be really, really important, especially when you start playing amplified harmonica, which will be a topic for another video. Okay, so before I give you tip number 7, as well as a super useful exercise that will help you develop excellent tone on the harmonica, I want to tell you a little bit about my online harmonica school. So my online harmonica school is a subscription service where for a monthly subscription you get provided with a step-by-step curriculum, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate student. Everything you need to work on is there laid out for you in an easy to follow curriculum, instead of you jumping around all the different videos on YouTube and going down that rabbit hole, which we all do because it's really fun, but you don't actually get anywhere or improve by doing that. You've got the curriculum and you've got the accountability and the feedback from a teacher. So you can upload recordings to the Harmonica School forum and a harmonica teacher will tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how you can improve it. So you're not doing it by yourself. So it's really everything you need to get good at blues harmonica. If you want to find out more about that, click on the link in the description below. And now let's hear tip number 7. Tip number 7. Okay, so this is a tip and an exercise because you'll want to know how you can practice great tone. So think of everything we've spoken about so far, and we're going to do all of that while practicing a train rhythm. And you might be thinking, oh, well, I've not played a train rhythm since I was a beginner. It's a bit boring. Why would I bother? Train rhythm is the single greatest exercise to improve your breathing and your relaxation and control of the instrument. It's going to help you build up your stamina. It's going to help you build up your rhythm, and it's going to get you used to having the instrument in your mouth so you can think about all of this holistic view to getting great tone. So let's start with just a basic train rhythm. It's going to sound like this. You want to make sure that it sounds nice and warm like that it's not tense, you're not sucking. So see, my shoulders came up, I was drawing the air in. Instead, breathe naturally, think about that diaphragm. And I'm doing that just by saying nucka on an in-breath, tucka on an out-breath. And do that for 2 or 3 minutes every day when you warm up on the instrument, and your breathing will get so much better, your tone will get so much better, and your stamina will get so much better. And if you don't know how to do a train rhythm, I've put a link to my lesson on train rhythms below so you can get to that. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found my 7 tips for better tone useful. Before you head away, before you go and check out the Harmonica School, you can do a little something for me. Give me a thumbs up by hitting that like button below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get notified when I upload new harmonica videos, which is every other Wednesday. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Maybe you could write a little comment below if you have an excellent tone tip that you want to share with the community. All right, see you soon. Happy harping.